Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the second class in advanced English writing. How are all of you today? When you get a question in the exam or you get a topic from your teacher, how do you get the best ideas? How do you get that creativity out of your brain? Let's get started with a brain spark. Now, that little half a head over there is a part of a poster from a popular movie in 2019. What is this movie? Okay, think about it. I will show you the answer at the end of today. When you are writing at the advanced level, you think about the big picture. What do I mean by the big picture? Basic writing. Basic writing is all about the nitty-gritty of writing. How do I write letters? How do I write words? How do I write sentences, paragraphs? How do I write an essay? Okay, the basic stuff. When you already know how to write an essay, come on, you're not alone. Millions of thousands, millions of other people in the world can write. How do you write a great essay? And even in SPM, there are hundreds of thousands of different candidates that are competing with you for the same results. Not everybody can get an A. Your essays are like the stars in the universe. How do you write an essay that outshines everybody else? Now, let's address the question for today. How do I get the best ideas? I'm sure all of you have heard this from a teacher or someone that means well. How do you get the best ideas? Bro, you got to think outside of the box. What do you mean? How do I think outside of the box? What does that mean? What is the box? What are you talking about? So how do you think outside of the kota? And I'm using images from this website, wikihow.com. They made some really good images, and I'm gonna use them with citation, and that's how you should do it. Before I show you any of the tips, I want to share with you this proverb. Hey Eugene, how you doing?
I'm good.
Can you read the proverb and tell everybody what it means?
未雨绸缪. It means to plan first before you do something.
Thank you, Eugene. In English, it means dig the well before you are thirsty. So if you are thirsty right now, and right now you start digging the well, are you going to be able to drink water, or are you going to die of thirst? Unless you're Superman or the Flash or Batman or whatever not, you're probably going to die of thirst because you need to dig the well before you need to drink water. The same thing as what we are doing today. If you want to be creative, you can't wait until the moment you sit down and then you have that test paper to be creative. You have to dig your well before you need to drink, before you are thirsty. The 8 things that I share with you after this, some of them can be very simple, but don't let simplicity deceive you into thinking that it's nothing. Sometimes the biggest difference comes from the simplest solutions and the simplest actions. So what I'm going to share with you after this, take note of them and do them in your life. Make it a part of your life so that you can dig your creativity well long before you need to drink from that well during the exam or during homework or whatnot. Now, the first tip, whenever you get an exam question, the first thing that you should do is spend a few minutes to brain dump. Dump everything that's in your brain, all the ideas or whatnot, squeeze it out and just don't judge your ideas. Just put them all down on the paper. Stupid ideas, good ideas, bad ideas, crazy ideas, put all of them down on paper. Why? Because you don't want the junk to be stuck in your brain. If you don't put it on paper, it's going to be up here. Transfer it to the paper, let the paper carry the burden so that your brain can be free to think, to be more creative. Your brain is like a processor, right? It has a finite amount of processing ability. Decide maybe once a week, I'm going to do something called free writing. Free writing is basically something like this. I'm going to free write for the next 10 minutes. Set the timer and just write for 10 minutes. Don't care what you write about, just write. If you have no idea what to write about, just write, I have no idea. I have no idea. I guarantee you, when you write, I have no idea for 1 minute, you're going to have an idea of what you want to write about. And that's one way to practice your brainstorming muscles so that when it comes to the exam time, your well is already dug and you're ready to drink the sweet water of brainstorming. And you can also brainstorm by drawing pictures or mind maps. The second tip that I have for you is to reconceptualize the problem. So for example, if you get a test paper, okay, let's say last year's SPM 2019, one of the continuous writing questions was about how did you meet your best friend? How do you reconceptualize this question? Okay, what did you think about when I said your best friend? How many percent of the other SPM candidates think the same thing? Which is why it's very important for you to reconceptualize. Look at the problem or the question from a different perspective. If you think that other people are going to write about human, you can write about an animal. You can write about your best friend being an animal and how you met that animal somewhere. Or you can be the animal and your best friend is a human being. If you are able to write convincingly, yeah, you can make a rock your best friend. The third tip is to daydream. How many of you here like to daydream? Switch off your mobile phones, switch off your laptop, sit in a quiet place or sit in your favorite corner in your room or at a cafe or whatnot, and always have a notebook nearby. If you get a great idea, make sure that you write it down, because that idea can be the difference between you getting an A for SPM or not. The next tip I have is to set parameters. What is the meaning of parameters? Parameters is limits. The question that you get in SPM, if it's too broad, there's one question last year which was about modern inventions. Wow, everything around me is modern invention. So set parameters, limit yourself. I'm just going to focus on mobile technology, or I'm just going to focus on social media. Creativity is like light, just like this light bulb that I have over here. Light, when it's not focused, it's just light. Doesn't hurt, you don't feel anything. But if you are able to focus light becomes a laser. Your brain is like light. You need to focus it so that you're able to create something really, really good. And you do that by setting parameters, limiting yourself, limiting the question. Next is change up your routine. Because if you do the same thing again and again and again, you're not getting any new ideas. Try something different. Add some randomness into your life. We're Malaysians. We love food. So go out and try different restaurants or different cafes or different food. If you've never been to that part of town, go into that part of town. If you don't have friends from a different ethnic group, go and make a friend from a different ethnic group. What you learn from these experiences adds to the pool of ideas that you have in your head. And when you get a question that is related to any of those things, it'll be really quick, really fast for you to be able to come up with creative ideas thanks to your diverse experiences. Also, learn some new things. A lot of students are still stuck at home, unless you're from 5 where you have to go back to school next week. But still, you can still learn new things. If you've always wanted to learn how to play the guitar, if you've always wanted to learn French, open up YouTube and learn French from YouTube and practice your French with somebody, have a good laugh. Learning something new opens up new connections in your brain. And it will definitely help you to get more creative, because when learning something new, you get a different perspective and you'll be able to use that really, really well in your writing when necessary. Another very important thing that you have to do is to surround yourself with creative people. You are the average of your 5 best friends. So think about who you have around you. Who do you allow to speak into your life, to influence you? Are they creative? Are they positive? Are they helping you to be in the right frame of mind for you to succeed? If your friends are hating on all of the positive things that you want to do, then you might want to think about who you surround yourself with. Because if you surround yourself with positive and creative people who are doing things and taking action on what they believe in, you will be the same. If you don't have friends who are creative, you have social media. Go to Pinterest, go to Instagram, go to YouTube. Follow people whose creativity you enjoy and consume that creativity. Learn how they do it and try and do it yourself. Surround yourself with people who are creative, and you will also be creative as well. Finally, pay attention to other people's ideas. Creativity is imitation. Let's look at the revolutionary device of the 21st century, the iPhone. Do you think that Apple came up with the first smartphone? No. The first smartphone was invented in 1992 by IBM, and it sold only 50,000 phones. It was very expensive. It was like $1,000, what, 5,000 ringgit? And then in 2001, phones first started connecting to the internet. And you get the colored phones and you get the touchscreen phones. It was only in 2007 when the first iPhone was released where all these functions are put into an interesting and simple package. That was when it took off. So the iPhone is not a new idea. You can do the same thing. You don't have to come up with your own original ideas. You crack your head like, I want an original idea. I don't want to follow this person or that person. Don't be afraid of taking someone else's idea and putting your own spin to it. And it might be something really, really great. Here's the poster, a part of the poster from a popular movie in 2019. Okay, you're right. This is from Star Wars, The Rise of Skywalker. So today we learned about how to think outside of the kotak. And these are the ways to do it. Brainstorm, reconceptualize the problem, daydream, set parameters or limits, change your routine, learn new things, surround yourself with creative people, and pay attention to other people's ideas and copy them. I want to leave you with this quotation from Napoleon Hill. Napoleon Hill is the #1 motivational speaker and writer during his time. And he says that your only limitation is the one you set up in your own mind. Whether you can or cannot do something, it's you that decides. It's all in here, in your mind. So your greatest enemy is actually yourself. So make sure that you learn how to break your limits. I can help you beat your limitations with the best. So for Form 4 and Form 5, I'm offering a A+ SPM Elite class where I will coach you to an A or A+. The second kind of class that I'm offering for Form 4 and Form 5 is reading and writing for SPM. So during this class, you will refine your English with SPM level exercises. For the Form 1 to Form 3, you can join this reading and writing for PT3 class. And this is where I help you to refine your English with PT3 level exercises. I'm also offering premium personal coaching. That's one-to-one sessions. That's it for today. Thank you so much for spending time with me. Bye, everybody.